keep hiding this on me. There it is. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to begin with our sung prelude today. Enter, rejoice, and come in. The words will be on the screen behind me. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. And fear, rejoice, and come in. Thank you.
Good morning. For all those of us who were complaining about the heat back in July and August, remember today the next time it's hot in here. We acknowledge that our campus is located on the traditional and unceded lands of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. We acknowledge the impact of colonialism and our presence here today, that our presence here today was paved through a system of discriminatory and racist practices. We are committed to honoring, listening, and continuously learning from the diverse perspectives of the Algonquin, Anishinaabe, and other Indigenous peoples, and the ongoing work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. And now, a few announcements. First, the easy one. For those who haven't stopped by the table at the back where the lovely and talented Andrew is handing them out, tax receipts are available really early this year. They're not all there, so if yours is not there, don't panic. It will be by next week. But I was one of the fortunate ones, and you even have the added benefit of having my own personal autograph on it. It's only because I'm treasurer. Do any of you remember the recent Memorandum of Understanding between the Government of Canada and Alberta? The one that threatens our oceans, wildlife, rivers, and forests, and has received no Indigenous consent? Well, once again, the Environmental Action Group is encouraging you to sign any of a number of petitions calling on our leaders to stop the building of a bitumen pipeline, another pipeline, from Alberta to BC, and to maintain the ban against its transportation by tanker along the dangerous BC coast. You can find links to the petitions in the EUU, or you can get more information on the MOU, or stop by the Environmental Action Group table today in Fellowship Hall. And finally, I hope you all know this, there's a special congregational meeting after the service today. Did anybody not know there was a meeting today? I don't see any hands, so if you didn't know, you're just not letting you know, because now you do. It's to consider a motion authorizing a mortgage or lien on the congregation's property. Members of the congregation will be able to participate and vote in this meeting in person or via Zoom, and you can both participate and vote this time in either format. Details regarding the motion and participation in the meeting were distributed last week by email to all members. The information is also available on the members page of the website and on the back table today. Voter registration will start at noon and run till 12:30, both in person and online. And of course, the meeting itself starts at 12:30. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Lara Cowtan. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm really glad to be here this morning, and I hope you all will sing loudly and create lots of warm air. It's chilly up here. I'll be joined on the chancel this morning by our worship associate, Lisa Boulay, and we've got music director, Jen Burnson, and Jody McIntosh will be sharing a story with us. And I want to say thank you to Julia back there doing our tech. Thanks, Julia. And welcome to all of you. It is really good to be here together this morning. Welcome to those here in the sanctuary and to those of you joining us online. To many newcomers, to first-time visitors, and to our seasoned members. We're so glad you're here with us. Whoever you are, whatever you are seeking here this morning, whatever you're bringing with you, your gifts and your wounds are truly welcome here, as are your laughter and your tears. We gather here in communities like this because we need one another. In the regular days of the week, and especially in times of uncertainty and grief and fear and outrage, we need to be in communities like this to know that in our quiet struggles, we are not alone. We can work together to love, to heal, to build, and to make sense of a world that at times seems senseless. We come together to refill our spiritual well springs of hope and possibility and of love and justice, that we might return to the world refreshed and ready to begin anew, to lift up and live into our values in the world. So welcome. Welcome, dear friends, to this hour of worship this morning. It is good to be together, is it not? May you find our time this morning to be a blessing, because we do indeed need one another. Let us lift our voices now together in singing our hymn number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Good morning, bonjour, ani kinawea. I'm Lisa, my pronouns are she, her. And our centering words for this morning are by Scott Taylor, The Wonder All Around Us. Look, friends, to the sky, to the stars that dance like fireworks above this tiny globe on which we travel. Look to the horizon, the tree line, the expanse of wide open fields, to this living, breathing earth that makes our living and breathing possible. Look at the faces that surround you and notice what a wonder it is that we don't have to walk this world alone. All of it is a miracle. All of it deserves our awe. May this time we share illuminate the astonishing preciousness of it all. And Remy, would you like to come and help me light the chalice? Yay, well done. Thank you. We light our chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth, and the warmth of love. Over to you, Jen.
Not yet. There we go. Good morning, everyone. I am Jody McIntosh, Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she and her. And I invite anyone young or young at heart to come and gather at the front for our story this morning. So my book this morning is called Everywhere Wonder by Matthew Swanson. And this book, it follows a boy whose imagination can take him anywhere, to the pyramids in Egypt, to footprints on the moon, and down long open roads. But what's really special is that after all those big adventures that he takes in his imagination, he comes back to notice the world right in front of him too. A lost balloon, an ordinary day, a small moment that suddenly feels important. This story reminds us that even simple things can be full of beauty and meaning, and that when we really pay attention, the world around us can feel amazing and maybe even a little bit sacred. So this is Everywhere Wonder. I have a story to share. It is a little gift from me to you, and you might not know it, but you have a story too. You'll find it in the things you stop to notice. The world is full of people and places and things, all of them interesting, all of them beautiful. You never know what you might see or where your mind might take you, so keep your eyes wide open as you go. In Egypt, there are pyramids. In Arizona, there are canyons. And in the jungles of Brazil are leaves so plentiful and green that light can barely reach the ground below. In the high hills of Japan are gardens full of wind-worn rockets, or wind-worn rocks and clean white sand, but not a single flower. In Kenya, there are hot, dry savannas filled with zebras and blue wildebeest. In the middle of the Coral Sea, there is a roaring storm that no one will ever hear. And on the near side of the moon, there is a quiet footprint that no rains will ever wash away. In Sheboygan, there's a tractor mechanic named Shirley who has 37 friends. And on the North Pole, there's a cold and lonesome bear wishing for some company. You want to go see him, of course, to let him know he's not alone, but your bike won't get you there and back by bedtime. Still, you noticed him, didn't you? He walked off the page and into your head. Now he is part of your story. There are other wonders yet to find, not so far from where you are right now. They too are interesting. They too are beautiful. Stop to really look, and you will see them. In the highest part of the tree is an unexpected gift, a blue balloon. A blue balloon that must have slipped from someone's fingers. In the deepest part of the pool is a sunken treasure, a shiny dime that must have tumbled from someone's pocket. Will you save it, or will you spend it, or leave it there for someone else to find? In the grocery store are aisles and shelves of stacks of cans. You have to look so carefully to find the one you want. And in your bowl of steaming soup is just one noodle that doesn't match the other ones. Where do you think it came from? And on the playground is a sturdy line of bright black ants carrying their supper home. Under the bridge is a gently rolling river floating a blue glass bottle out to sea. Perhaps it holds a message. What does it say? Who could it be for? And in the busy town are sidewalks full of swiftly moving people who somehow never seem to collide. In the quiet countryside are miles of open, empty roads that somehow never seem to end. Where do they go? Someday you may find out. And in the hallway is a spotted dog that turns golden as the sun sets through the windows. And in the bedroom is a doorknob that makes rainbows when the reading lamp clicks on. Now that the lamp is off and the moon is up, you close your eyes and see them again, the things you noticed today. All of these things, all of these together are your story. Dream with them a while. And when you wake up in the morning, open your eyes, open your window, and let your story out into the world. It is a little gift from you to me. So I hope you all see something beautiful today that is a little bit of sacred. We will now sing our children on our way. And as we have been doing, the parents will come to room 2 of our chalice room to pick them up at the end of service. Thank you.
The pitter-patter of little feet warms our hearts. Each time that we gather for worship, we set aside a moment to expand the caring ministry of this congregation. Together, we recognize the cycle of life and death and the circle of love, compassion, and witness that is at the center of this and every sacred community. Let us prepare our hearts for this time of sharing, settling in, and letting the sound of our singing bowl reach through you. It is our tradition to place stones, representing what is carried in our hearts, into bowls of water, representing the depth of our hearts and the ripples that go through us and out into the world as we hold these weights together. From our larger world community today, we place this stone in honor and remembrance of Robert Burns, who was born on this day 222 years ago. Stay immortal, Robbie. And a stone for those winter sport fanatics who are relishing this weather. And a stone of grief for Alex Pretty, the ICU nurse who was killed yesterday in Minneapolis, and for the whole community there as they support one another. And a few stones for the people in the Ukraine living in fear and cold as bombs continue to fall around them. And while from among our community we have no caring cards for you to sign today, we know that on any given day, among us are those who are holding deep griefs and sorrows and concerns for your health or that of a loved one's, or grief for the loss of a beloved. And there are those who have come here today with a joyful heart, those celebrating birthdays and anniversaries and milestones of sobriety. We all celebrate with you. I invite you at this time to come forward as you feel so moved and share in this ritual of our stones. A final stone, as always, for those things that are carried in the silent sanctuary of our hearts or for our online community. Let us join now in a moment of silence following the singing of our bell. Settle in. Settle in and let this sound wash through you.
Today's anthem, sung by Three Rivers, is O River by Mamuse.
Finding my way, 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 finding my way back home. Finding my way, 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 finding my way back home. Finding my way, finding my way, finding my way, finding my way. I hear you, finding my way back home. Finding my way, 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 finding my way back home. Finding my way, finding my way, finding my way, finding my way, finding my way back home. Finding my way, finding my way, finding my way, finding my way, finding my way,
Thank you, Jen and Three Rivers Singers. That was delightful. I'll ask the ushers to please come forward. Thank you. Interdependence and generosity are core values of our tradition. We know that we are bound up with each other and our partners in the world, and that generosity is an expression of our faith. During the entire month of January, our Sunday collection, unless marked towards your pledge, will be split with our community partner, the 10 Oaks Project. 10 Oaks Project is a grassroots charitable organization working to support 2SL LGBTQ+, two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer children and youth and families to thrive. Based in Ottawa, 10 Oaks was founded in 2004 and after 20 years continues to offer affirming and life-changing camp and community programming rooted in play. All youth deserve a supportive place where they can be their true and authentic selves. But for many, 2S LGBTQ+ youth and families, inclusion spaces are hard to find. To help continue to deliver transformative experiences to our community, donate to 10 Oaks so that all kids who need it have a safe space to play. If you have a smartphone handy, you can use the QR code on the screen or the back of the order of service to make an online donation. I offer this affirmation of gratitude for the gifts shared today. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may be held by the generosity of others. May the work of our hands and the generosity of our hearts be given in gratitude this day. So I'm going to do a little reflection, a very brief reflection. So when Reverend Lara asked worship associates to offer brief reflections, I was not sure which service would inspire me to contribute. Turns out it's this one. My path to Unitarian Universalism took several turns before I discovered a true sense of belonging here. This month's theme, Awakening Wonder, has been particularly interesting and inspirational for me because I hold a belief that everything is holy. During my upbringing in the Catholic faith, I did not feel there was room to appreciate the marvels of nature. This felt odd to me because many of what I came to understand as spiritual moments came from experiences with the natural world. Those times that made me pause in awe and say, wow. Like when I was camping in southern Alberta, and at night the Milky Way was so clear that I felt I could reach out and touch the stars. It took my breath away. What drew me initially to Unitarian Universalism was the seventh principle: respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. I was even more delighted to learn that earth-centered wisdom and traditions are central to deepening and enriching our spiritual journey through one of our sources, listed up here, the last one. Spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. As UU minister Kathleen, I hope I'm saying this right, Rollins said, throughout history, we have moved to the rhythms of mystery and wonder, prophecy, wisdom, teachings from ancient and modern sources, and nature herself. I'd like to share this poem by Mary Oliver that expresses so beautifully the wonder of nature. It's called Mysteries, Yes. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of lambs, how rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising, how two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. So I ask you, what has moved you to stop in awe and say, wow? Let me close with these words from author Richard Wagamese from his book Embers, One Ojibwe's Meditation. I've been referred to as odd, ODD, before. Nowadays, I prefer to refer to myself as odd, AWED. I want awe to be the greatest ongoing relationship in my life. I want to move through my days floored by the magnificence and generosity of my Creator. The breaking of the day, the silence between words, the light emanating from a real conversation, and kindness, truth, love, and the apparently random hand of grace. I want to remain gobsmacked by it all, rendered speechless by wonder. I wait the next unfolding. Peace, friends. Be odd today. Thank you.
When I was a boy, each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, to finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. But I walk it with the reverend there, 'cause everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face, say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. But I walk it with a reverend hair, 'cause everything is holy now.
I'm not sure I have anything I can add to that. Everything is holy now. Everything is a miracle. That song by Peter Mayer has lived in my bones for years. And I share it often because it keeps unfolding in new meaning for me when I hear it. I've asked Pete about it, actually. I've known him for a number of years, too. And he's always delighted to know how it lands. As often as he has sung it, people share with him what it means to them. It asks me again and again, what if I really lived like this is the truth? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How does that change me and the world? It is a transformative song. It invites us to transform. The Encyclopedia Britannica defines miracle as an extraordinary and astonishing event attributed to the presence and action of a divine power. But Peter Mayer turns that idea inside out. He sings that the real challenge is not to look for miracles, but to find where there isn't one. That's a radical shift in perspective. If everything is holy, if everything is miracle, then nothing is disposable. Not the earth, not our neighbors, not even our enemies, not the fragile web of life to which we all belong. Seeing miracles everywhere requires reverence And reverence leads to responsibility, to nurture, to protect, and to steward what is precious and what needs protection. It means that when our hearts are battered by the constant flood of news, the devastating weather, the cruelty of war and famine, rising tyranny and brutal abuses of power, we are called not to turn away, but to turn toward the places where beauty still breaks through and find the miracle in the dust and the darkness and the broken places. Not as denial, not as naive optimism, but as spiritual resistance. It's hard to marvel at the beauty of the natural world or blessings of our lives when we lead with jaded hearts and seen it all, cynicism, or what can we possibly do outlooks. How can we create openings in ourselves for awe and wonder to enter? How can we truly appreciate what is all around us when we feel only the sadness and despair and grief and anger? Years ago, in my first year of seminary, we were given an assignment called a beauty walk. We were to go out into our neighborhoods and find beauty wherever we were. That week, I happened to be in Romania, in the city of Kolozsvár. That's the Hungarian name. The Romanian name is Cluj-Napoca. It was still deeply scarred by decades of communist rule, and my walk took me over broken sidewalks and around open construction pits, under tangled webs of wires and past heaps of plaster and brick. And at first glance, it felt bleak. But I had a school assignment to do. And so I looked. And I looked and I found it. Looking for beauty changes everything. I saw carefully planted begonias that somebody had dug into the boulevard of weeds that were blooming stubbornly. There was a toddler in a park throwing seeds and chasing pigeons, just laughing joyously, and his grandmother in her kerchief with a toothless smile, just grinning at him. And there was a Romani woman selling roasted nuts that were wrapped in torn sheets of newspaper. And she was just radiant in her layers of colored skirts and her beads. There was fresh blue paint around the frame of windows and a doorway, a really welcoming presence on a flat, gray, plain concrete wall. I began to notice the interconnections between the old and the new, and the struggle and the grace and the hardship and the resilience. There was pride in the rebuilding. There was pride in lifting up the life. There was joy in the small moments. And there was life, just insisting upon living. The miracle wasn't that the suffering had vanished. It had not. It still hasn't. The miracle was that beauty was still possible amidst the rubble. I interned with an organization called International Bridges to Justice in Geneva. It works to protect basic legal rights to due process in countries where corruption and torture and abuse of power are common. Believe it or not, there are nations out there that have a difficult time upholding the Convention of Human Rights. Its founder, the UU minister, Reverend Karen Cha, walks into prisons where people have been beaten and broken, and she sits across from officials who are hardened by cruelty and despair. And she talks to them about other methods of investigation. She believes in the possibility of transformation, even in places that are shaped by violence. She teaches about human dignity in systems that are built to erase it. And she saves lives, not by pretending that the cruelty and, let's call it evil, isn't real, but by refusing to believe that that is all that there is. The miracle is not the absence of evil. The miracle is the stubborn presence of conscience. During my training as a hospital chaplain, my supervisor kept bringing the cohort back to one question. Where is God in this scenario? I translated that to being the only non-Christian in the room. Where is spirit? Where is love? Where is the holy in this broken room? And there it would be, as soon as you looked. In hands being held, in families gathered around a bedside, sharing stories, in the look of peace in someone's eyes as they prepared to let go of life. And sometimes, yes, sometimes, in miraculous recoveries. There were tragedies. Too many. There always are. And still, somehow, something keeps growing towards the light. Which brings me to this week. I thought I was writing a sermon about nature. Many of us are shaken. Myself included. I was looking for water. By what has unfolded in Minnesota this week, in the last couple of weeks, where another fatal shooting has led immigration agents. No, I need water. That's okay. That's right. Thank you. Where another fatal shooting by federal immigration agents in Minneapolis has ignited further protests, deepened fear and outrage, and raised urgent questions about justice and power and human dignity. These events remind us that the brokenness in our world is not abstract, but real and raw. Yet even there, in the very cold streets and rising voices demanding accountability, people are organizing and supporting one another and refusing to let fear or oppression have the last word. Thank you, Lisa. Better. So this fear is not abstract, and it's not something generated by a news cycle. We're hearing it in our own public life, and this week, Canada's own Prime Minister spoke on the world stage about global instability and the pressures that smaller nations feel when larger powers posture and threaten. We're also hearing talk of retaliation, of borders hardening, of economic punishment and political force. Now, these aren't just headlines. These things shape how people feel. It shapes how we respond to things. It shapes how our neighbors speak to one another. And it shapes what our children absorb and what kind of world they are inheriting. The question before us is not whether or not evil exists. It always has. The question is, where is the miracle now? Let's look for the beauty now. I see it, because I had to look. I see it in resilience. I see it in people marching together. I see it in the many donations to support communities and strangers that are flowing. I see it in teachers teaching children songs of peace and resistance to sing as they walk home past armed and masked men in the cold. In voices raised not in hatred, but in hope. For us Unitarian Universalists in Canada, the answer to where is the miracle, it's shaped by who we are. We are a small religious movement in a vast country trying to practice care, conscience, and connection in a very complicated world. A world where indigenous wisdom has long taught the reverence for the land and the people, and our painful history shows what happens when power forgets that relationship. To say everything is holy now, in this context, means refusing the story that says only power matters. It means refusing the story that says safety comes only through hardness or retaliation. It means investing in what actually holds communities together, and those things are trust and mutual aid and accountable leadership and the slow, brave work of repair and building towards a common future. Nature herself teaches us how to live this way. After fires, seeds open. After storms, roots deepen. And after winter, spring comes. Life returns. Life has always been messy and imperfect and complicated and astonishingly resilient. We need one another. To say everything is holy now does not mean everything is good. It means everything matters. It means the suffering of our neighbors is sacred ground. It means the earth is not a resource, but a relative. It means justice is not a political hobby. It is not even political. It is a spiritual discipline. Wonder is not passive. Reverence is not retreat. To see the world as holy is to refuse to not abandon any of it. In a time when nations are tempted to turn inwards and to harden borders and hearts, our faith, our tradition calls us outward. To moral courage, to responsibility, to responding. Wonder is not escape. It is the fuel for justice. And reverence is what keeps us from becoming what we fear. If everything is a miracle, then every act of care and conscience is holy work. Planting trees, welcoming refugees, teaching children values, standing between cruelty and its victims, singing songs in the cold, planting a garden. This is how we protect wonder. This is how we keep awe alive. And this is how we become people who still know how to say, look, and laugh in astonishment. not because the world is safe, but because it is precious. Perhaps the miracle is not that pain and suffering would disappear, but perhaps the miracle is that love keeps showing up anyways, despite it. Perhaps the miracle is that we're still, after everything, capable of tenderness, still capable of courage, and capable of imagining something better. So everything is holy now. Not because it's perfect, but because it's alive. And we belong to it, interconnected. So may we walk gently on this earth. May we see all life as sacred. May we keep choosing wonder over numbness, hope over despair, and love over fear. May it be so. Amen. Invite you to rise in body and spirit and join in singing another Peter Mayer song. You love this one. I know you do.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sunrise sail and moon my rudder, as I climb the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred zero souls, making our way down the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the ways upholding me, in a great clean searching me along. Read the infinite sea before me, take the star by sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These things we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Just a brief reminder that there is a weekly after-service discussion in this lounge if you wanted to pop in there as you're waiting for the congregational meeting to get set up and started. But for now, as we close this service together, go with wonder in your eyes and courage in your hearts. May you see what is holy. May you tend what is fragile. Choose love in the days ahead, finding beauty and miracles everywhere you look. Do look. We need one another. Amen. Go in peace.